I can look at the camera and see you, and that's actually like an eye of yours. So like I know that center, and like the focal point, I can talk to you and hear you and connect in the heart. So
I mean, if you want to
that's
look
what
at
I
the
would
camera,
prefer.
you can do that, yeah.
Because this is really looking like a fucking eye to me right now.
Okay.
This is crazy.
So how are you feeling today?
I already traveled 2 universes today. They're fucking wild, man. Like, I woke up this morning. Last night I ate too much food. Overate. Overindulged. You know? Like, oh, there's never enough. I need to eat as much as I can. So I'm about to go into like a starvation station where I only eat eggs and chia pudding. But I feel good. Woke up and was meditating and, you know, the Namu Myoho Renge Kyo chant. And I stare at a hole in the wall. In 25 minutes, that's why practicing looking at the lens and the little eye and keeping focus on that is so important. That's what's helped me create the work that's behind. But when I wake up in the morning, I meditate and stare at this hole for 25 minutes. And when I don't do this, everything gets fucking chaotic in my life. It gets really chaotic. So I woke up this morning, chanted, and then I realized everything, I had a divine alignment. It was this thing of, I was meditating and the timer, and I ended my chant on like the Om, right? And I just knew that it was finished. As soon as I was done, the alarm went off. And the way that I was staring at the white wall and the visualizations and the scenes that were passing me by as if I was looking out a windshield in a car, right? And I was seeing like a park and a cityscape. It was really something profound for me. And immediately after that, somebody wanted to have a conversation with me about some pain that they were having. And so I thought it was very interesting to kind of like wake up and have this sort of very peaceful moment, and then right after be faced with a moment of reactivity where chaos can arise. And then knowing the boundary, which is also translated in the artwork. The black lines that you see that outline the colorful shapes are me using the shadow. Me getting to know the shadow, using it to create boundaries around these beautiful parts of myself, of the subconscious, the discoveries that have been found. Yeah, been explored and found. But yeah, I haven't finished the rest of my bagel, but okay. I lived my life out of a place of pain for a long time. And the way that I interacted with people and judged and was judging myself because there were certain things that I did as a child that I was unable to forgive myself for. And so then this whole life was created around being a victim. And being a victim to the circumstances, to the family, and seeing things from a perspective that was just one perspective. And so being able to take what was the shadow and the unknown parts of myself, grab control of them through the power of mind, I've learned to transform that negative energy into beautiful black lines that highlight the beautiful parts that I found about myself and to discover as well. You know, because some of these paintings are premonitions, they're symbols, they're sigils, they're call for an alignment to things I would like to see in my life, for people. They're an expression of a life collected, a 36-year life, now 37-year life, collecting experiences with individuals. And they're a display of that. They are not mine. They're yours.
So how do you feel like you relate to other people, would you say? I mean, you seem a very open person. Like you connect with people easily. How's that for you?
How do I see myself relate to people?
Yeah, I mean, what's your thought process? Like, do you think about it? Is it, it seems very natural.
Yeah, I don't. I love people. I think we're one of the most amazing things ever and what we're capable of, and like how you hear people say that they've done these magical, crazy things like levitation, and we're told that Jesus walked on water, and like, you know, how much do we believe in that? And this power that we have, you know, and at the end of the day, I've gone really far inward to look at that inner child and give it permission to play. And so from that place of like being my own mother and father and coming back home and taking care of little Lucas and giving him a space to play and paint, I feel like I've gained access to a deeper understanding of human nature and the way that people subconsciously are choosing pain. And it's challenging, like it's really challenging not to correct people. It's like you hear people say negative words or low vibrational words or this, that, and the other, because I'm very hard on myself. Like the strive for, you know, the box that I would like, you know, that I do accept in myself is there's a box called greatness. And I would like to put myself in that box of greatness. And so with that comes this sort of thing where I want people to be great. And they are great. I want them to see how great they are. And I always want to add value to people's lives. I want to leave things better than I found it. I fall short all the time. I'm a human being. But at the end of the day, that makes me, that inner child gives me access to the relating to other people and to see them through the eyes of Source.
Do you think that's something that everyone has, that
Yes.
that potential?
Yes, absolutely. I don't believe we change. Let me wait for this truck. Big red truck. Man, I even take like big gulps. Excess. It's a real thing, you know? Overindulging, like more. I need this. Man, fucking, I don't need anything. Little kids don't need anything. Give them cardboard and crayons and they're good. You could learn a lot from that. Yes, it's been, I don't believe people change. I believe they grow. Like that's, because I'm the same, I feel the same as I was when I was a kid, when I sit back and now think about my reality from a positive standpoint versus looking at it from a negative standpoint, which was the victim. Like the victim of the circumstances of what I grew up in, this, that, and the other. But taking responsibility for my life, there's one phrase that I say that's really jarring to people, and it's I chose my mom and my dad to come through. I take full responsibility for my life, everything in it, every choice that has happened to me consciously or unconsciously is this being. And that really, accepting that, moving through that, gave me access to the lost city of gold inside. And we all have that. And I think, you know, I've been asking this question. It's been like, what is something that doesn't exist that the people need, right? And then realizing that like we need nothing externally, really. Like we're told by stories, you know, Jesus went 40 days and 40 nights without water. All right, so with that, whether we know that's true or we believe that fully, like do you believe that fully or not? You know, I think maybe some of us or myself might have to put this to test. To see that the things that we go through in life were not meant to hurt us, but to make us incredibly strong beings, to make us into these incredible, indestructible beings. The stories and things I've heard of people and what they've overcome, anything's possible. Yo. Can I roll a cigarette, man? Yeah. Yo, I'm seeing your eye in this fucking lens, dog. I'm just waiting for it to fucking blink with your eye. Did you do that on purpose? Is that why you like that lens? Like, cause this shit is like, I see your eye, like you're behind it, bro, and it's your eye. Like there is nothing separate.
Yeah, I guess it's an extension, you know, in some ways. but I feel like you're primed to see things, you know, like, is that something that you feel like you've trained yourself in?
Wow. This is a question. I'm gonna grab some tobacco, and I might burn a little piece of sage, because we're gonna talk about some people that have influenced me greatly and have made this possible. Anton is a very brilliant artist who's been working as an artist for like 10 years, living off of his art. Has made over 1,600 pieces. This dude he walks around, he's like, oh, look at this little guy right here, like this character. See, like this guy? Like if we added a leg right here, it'll look like some sort of bird. You could put like a face right here. You know what I mean? It could be like some sort of giraffe bird creature, you know? And so people don't notice those things. They don't notice the interconnectedness that life is. They've been very disconnected from our nature. And so Anton, and living specifically with Anton, has brought me further into my nature. And so when I came here, I was very abstract in my work. The first show, everything was abstract. There were no shapes, there were no lines, there was no boundaries. And so this first piece, on the other side, it looked like a rabbit and a cat. But you can't, it's struggling seeing this now. Upside this way, I call it the dancing man. But here, Anton did this line. And from this line, all like underneath was layers and layers, and then it was like black lines, all kind of chaotic. And so then Anton put this line here, and then all of a sudden things started like, I was able to see different shapes, and then like flipped it, and then did this, and then flipped it. And this was over a period of a couple weeks, like building the layer, and then the black lines and the shapes, and a couple different sessions. And then these two were done in 15-hour sessions. So Anton really brought me to a place of being able to see and to start like looking deeper and seeing the things that are so subtle. And I've kind of been trained that way as a shaman and working with the medicine and the plant medicine in this way of like seeing the most subtle aspects of myself and the way that I get in the way of myself from succeeding and reaching the greatness that I see for myself.
It seems like that is kind of a characteristic of children as well, like something that you suppress over the years.
Yes, and that is something that I am very much, what did I do with my lighter? I had a lighter, right? Yeah, so I'm gonna share something with you. So the children see. They see, they already know what to do when they get here. Like they just exist. Like the kids just live and be. And then, tobacco. Then we put our corrupted views onto these children and breed that onto the children. But this right here, the intention was a fire. I brought this over to Father's Knows Best, the daughter of the owner, Remy. It was flipped upside down. And when it was flipped upside down, you can like flip your head. It's hard to do on the camera. And we'll get another shot of it upside down. Actually, I can flip it up. I can take it off. I'll do it in a sec. So I had it this way. We'll hang it back up. I had it this way, and I showed it to her. And she's like 3 years old. Or no, I'm sorry. It was the wrong child. It was Claire. It was the owner of the Chinese restaurant's daughter, Claire. And so I showed Claire this, and I was like, what do you see? What do you see? She's like, oh, I see a bear. And it's kind of like a slothy looking bear thing. You see the paw here, the head right there, and you got the leg over here. And I was like, oh my God. And so I saw what the child saw. And so then, when I flipped it back up, around the other way, I saw a swan. So I put a little white dot for the eye, and the feather in this part was like the swan. And so what I had an intention for became 3 other entities: a swan, a bear, and a fire. And so when I look at this, I see a golden egg, and I see the blood of Christ running through and off. And I see the fire taking the energy from the center of the universe and filtering it through. I see the silhouette of Jesus and the hair when we see him, and his hair's all nice. And then you have the deconstruction of the DNA, rebuilding it, transforming the serpent, kind of swirly in the white. Then you have some mermaid-esque scale with some stones, the 4 points, northeast, southwest with the 4 little dancing shaman. And so really, the golden key, the lens, but you see as you are. So when you look at these works, they're here for you to see yourself. They're expressions of you. What's possible, maybe it's music, maybe it's drums, but they all lead to other things and discovery. And so it's through keeping that inner child eye that you're able to see things. So yesterday, we were here on the corner, and one of the girls was like, I want to learn how to make faces. And I was like, oh, you know what's great about that? So do I. Because I'm so abstract with my work, that it's not really my specialty is drawing figurative, real, looking things. And I think that would add a lot of value to the work. It would add more value. Because I already see immense value in this work. And that's only because I've discovered the value of myself. Knowing the value that I have when I step into a space and take a blank space and just add art to it to have a conversation. Usually there's more people around here, but the kids are that. And last week I was set up here, and I told the kids that I would be here next week. I'll be here every day, because I got so excited about it, right? So choices were made, and I didn't show up. And the kids, I didn't see them on the block, and then I set up and I did I slept at the corner of Jefferson and Wyckoff with this art and the tent and the whole setup. And after that moment, I had such a high from doing that and connecting with people and kids and creating the Bushwick canvas with the kids here on Cooper and Wilson, and then bringing that over, having other kids and adults work on it and see that they're inner artists and connect with that. I didn't meditate last week, and I was ready to self-destruct. I wasn't sure if I actually wanted to be here, if I deserved to be here. There was some sort of guilt that I felt that I was holding myself to, where I decided, to call the ex-girl or the ex-girlfriend or the ex-person I was interested in, called, AKA Chaos, and I picked up Chaos's line, her call. And I ended up in bed, and I didn't want to do anything. I was like, I'm not worthy. The reason why I felt like I wasn't worthy was because I let those kids down, and I didn't show up. And I had to forgive myself for that, and make a promise to myself that whenever I say I'm going to do something, especially to a child, that you do it. That you stay true to that word. The moment I forgave myself, and yesterday when I was out, all those kids that I first worked with all started showing up. They were at the gate at the house. You gonna be there? When are you gonna be there next? Are you gonna be there next? I'm gonna be there tomorrow. I promise I'll be there tomorrow. So I set up tomorrow. That was yesterday. And so the accountability, and it feels good because the kids, they see magic in what's happening. And then the first time that we set up, it was all chaotic, right? Because my energy, I was really excited, they were really excited. So the artwork was kind of chaotic. But yesterday, there was intentionality. There was okay, they even said, oh, we're gonna have an art class. I was yeah, you're gonna be our art teacher. It's yes, I am gonna be your art teacher. And I'm gonna learn just as much, and you're gonna be my teacher just as much as you are, as I am yours, that same view. Openness is everything. also with the being very open and being very communicative and a talker, I love to overshare. So I'm always like, this is, because I don't think of things in a way that like they're bad, like I can talk about the trauma of my life. And, I was given a message one of the first times I was here in New York, and the message was, and it came from a guy who was involved in what everyone would say the Illuminati. And he came to me and he said, he was in the film industry and he had a film festival in New York. It was actually called Take Two Film Festival, Bobby something. And Bobby said to me, the Lego makers upstairs told me to tell you to let everyone else know that it's not that serious down here. And and this is a true story. This is really what was said to me. And this dude, is in the Freemasons. He was very high up in it. And, shortly after he vanished off the face of the earth and no one could find him. And we don't really know where he went. And, there's some other people out there that can corroborate this story. I swear to God it's true. But I find a lot of value in it because it's like, the openness and like, this is who I am. Paul, like, here I am. I'm done. The crucifixion. The nails are coming off. Like the shame and the guilt. That's what closes us. That's what makes us not open. To be open, we have to forgive ourselves and take those nails out of our hands because that story's already been lived. We don't need to live it anymore. And that's why you have Lucas Hamm is Jesus Christ. So I took the traditional, I found this on the streets of Bushwick. And, this piece really frustrates me. It's still a little, work in progress. But not a work in progress. I would say a work in progress in the sense that of my own anger. Because it's like, how dare they put Jesus in a fucking box? But it's beautiful because human beings, that's what we do. We put people in boxes, and I think that's okay. This is you. But I believe that I personally resonate with Jesus Christ and his story. I think he was one of the coolest magician people, dudes ever. He was hanging out with all the misfits. He was hanging out with everyone. He accepted everyone. He didn't see their pain and their trauma. He saw the beauty that they were. That's, to me, sounds like a great life to live. It sounds like peace and harmony, accepting what is as it is. Being open and knowing that the universe is always providing. I'm challenged with this, but if you look on the ground, you'll find money everywhere. It's a pile of things. It's a pile of things, and whatever we focus on, we get more of. So if we keep focusing on the negative stories of what we've gone through and the pain and the trauma, and I can go on and on and on about this. Staying open is everything because it allows for the passion, it allows for the excitement, for the characters to come into play. And then just all of a sudden change the voice and you can have play and fun and love and and you can not take life so seriously. Like, merrily, 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 life is but a dream. I'm just here rowing my boat. But I have to be the change that I want to see. We've heard it. We've heard all this stuff before. But because we've heard it so many times, it's like, it's just so simple. Well, I'm gonna show you because I literally have $500 in my bank account, but I got $20, $40, $60,000 worth of artwork right here. I know my value. I know my worth. I'm an honest artist. I'm not the charlatan, the chartreuse. I'm the top shaman. Top shaman. Opens everything. That's a great question.
I feel like we got somewhere with that one.
He's good. The guy behind the camera, the questions, right? You ask good questions, you get good answers. So if you can ask yourself good questions, you'll get good answers. But if you ask yourself, why am I ugly? Because you eat like shit. You're gonna find a nasty response. And that's kind of the shadow, right? Like, ask your shadow positive questions. Not, why am I so stupid? You're just gonna keep getting more of those situations that reflect that consciousness. So if you ask yourself, what would make me better? Well, or I could do this. And it's like, it becomes that what can I do? Like a single step, right? Not the how. How am I gonna lose, You know, no, how am I gonna do this? How is like this insurmountable mountain that you're never gonna overcome. You're like standing there at a bay, you're like, oh, it's so huge. What am I gonna do? Oh wait, what am I gonna do? I could grab a machete or something and start clearing a path and just start walking. Because eventually you're gonna get there, and then you meet people and the trails, and they help, and then you go off, and next thing you know, you've climbed, 4 mountains. I'd like to say I think I'm on my like second one. Yeah, maybe like almost over the second. Yeah, almost over the second. 4 mountains, north, east, south, and west. Yeah.